Testing. Mom's cold. You're not cold?
Mom's cold. Mom's cold. Ze mag niet aan het hier, ze mag niet aan het hier.
No.
You got it?
Well, the windows are closed. The window last week.
The window's open over there. I mean, mag ze aan het hier open?
Last week, two windows were open because the book was in the windows.
Over de gebber rijgen en dan in loken.
Yeah. It's poison, by the way.
No, I feel it.
It is. You should know it's worse than cigarettes.
I know that.
People think that the smoking.
I gave up everything.
It gave you up, unfortunately.
Good.
Okay, Leil Shishi. Pasha Vayetze Tov Shin Pei Vov. Poi Ira Koide Siget. Yeah, so this coming Tuesday is the yahrzeit of the Basian. The Basian tells the story of Rabbi tells the story of a young man who lived in Israel somewhere, and he was in Bnei Brak for Shabbos, and he ran around Friday night looking for a Sefer Basian. So he found a Sayyid. He said, "I have Basian. Come to my house. I'll give you." So when he came to his house, he said to him, I have a furniture full of Surim with Dafka Basian. So he said he didn't have children for many years. And they went to the Besmedish of the Basian, him and his wife, and they said the whole Tilim. And it was makabel upon himself that if they have a baby, for the first year after the child is born, he's going to learn Basian every Friday night. He said, at home, I have, but here, I'm in Bnei Brak, and I couldn't find a Basian. So he came, I get moved. So he came looking for a Basian. The famous story of Basian everybody knows, but it's good to repeat. There was Basian came to Tzfas in 1860, I think. In 1867, there was a tremendous earthquake in Tzfas. And this was happening while he was in the shul with his Chasidim, they were davening. So he ran up to the Aron Kodesh. He said, "Everybody come, gather around me." And all those who were gathered around him were saved. The rest of the Besmedish collapsed. But that place, he geblieben stein. And the Zeit noch einmal Reb Meilach, das gewinnt, Reb Shloime Gross. Way back in the day, lived in Tzfas. He was very, very poor. Mamish lechem lechel. There was struggling to eat, put food on the table, to put bread on the table, never mind food. We're not talking about dips, we're talking about bread. So he went down to the Tzion with the Basian, who was buried in Tzfas, and he said the whole Tilim. And that night, the Basian came to him in his dream, and he said to him, I'm very happy that you came to my cave to daven, but why didn't you give a Suda? You need to give a Suda. So he woke up and he was like shaken up, and he gathered whatever food he was able to gather, made a Suda for 10 people. And that same day, he bought a lottery ticket and won big money. And from that money, he created a fund in Yeshiva Beis Avram, the Slonim Yeshiva in Shalayim. And that was designated only for one purpose, by the use of the Basian to give a Siddur. And Ad Hayom Hazeh, that says Ramaylich, Ad Hayom Hazeh, they have from that fund, which they give a Siddur every year on the use of the Basian. So the Yosad is this coming Tuesday. And I'm sponsoring a Suda upstairs, so everybody's welcome to come to participate in the Suda Basian. If ever needs a Yeshua, Basian will take care of us. Tuesday. So somebody needs a Shidduch, somebody needs children, somebody needs a Refuah, whatever it may be, da ist das helfen. Schis von Basian. Bavrum Doiv ben Rab Duvid. So this week's parsha is the famous story of everybody knows the story. Yaakov Avinu, as he was running from his brother Esav, who wanted to kill him, and Eliphaz, the son of Esav, attacked him on the way, and he said, "My father commanded me to kill you." And he said, "Listen, take everything I have, oni choshev kemeis." And on his way, vayivga b'mokam v'yol sham kiba hashomesh. The sun went down before its time, and he went to sleep. He took 12 stones and put it around his head, and they all became one stone. They melted into one stone. And v'yachloim v'in sulamutz of arpa, he had a sulamutz of arza. He had a dream that there was a tall ladder going from arza, from the Eretz until Shamayim. Malach halikim oilim yeridim boy. So Rashi said the malachim from Eretz Yisrael were going up, and the malachim chutzlos came down. But so there's a whole to do. So the Balaturim, who was a Rishon, son of the Rosh, brings this in all over the Torah. The Balaturim is the Miyasad of the Arba Chelke Shulchan Aruch, the Turim, Torah of Chaim, Yeredeya, and Ibn Ezer. So on Torah, I once heard that when the night of his engagement, I think he was 17 years old. This is what I heard. I never saw it printed, but this is what I heard. That that night he wrote the Balaturim al Torah, and he gave it a gift to his mechutin, his future father-in-law. But there's like incredible stuff. A couple of things this week are very interesting. Sulam gematria koil. Zogt Hav Pshat. Shekoil tfilas at tzadikim hu sulam. When the tzadikim daven, that becomes like a ladder. Lamalochim lalois boy. V'chein also said Belio, Ola hamaloch b'lahav korban. So you see that when you bring a korban, tfilah cheneket korbanos. That tfilah hi avoide lekach. Oh, that tfilah avoide. It's like korbanos. Lekach kol mishchavim betfilosoi. Everybody that has kavanah when he davens, hasulim sholem b'shlivoisav. So the sulam becomes complete with all its wrongs. V'chodim la'alas boy. Nachazar zok the sulam gematria momoin. Sulam gematria money, momoin. Ubegematria also gematria oini, poorness. Gizei ashpil v'zei yorim. Mommon can make somebody rich and can put somebody down in the matzav they want to be. Mutzav arza, sulam is mutzav arza, was standing on the ground. Voreshim megeh shemaima. Remez, Dr. Balaturim, emishemush lach lor, somebody person is down, completely down and out. The fisho, just a temporary thing. Yala shemaima, so don't give up. If a person is down, no matter in every situation, beruchnis begashmius, don't give up, because in 1 second you go back up. Vayikotz Yaakov mishnosoi vayoymar. So Yaakov woke up from his dream and he said, "Ma'anoi lemakam hazeh, ein ze kim beis Elokim v'zeh shar shamayim." Zog the Balaturim, Vayikotz Yaakov mishnosoi vayoymar, sof tevis, tzadik beis vov reish, sof tevis tzibur. Loymar, she'ein tfiloso shel adon mishmas elo b'tzibur. When a person davens with minyan, Hashem listens to his tefillas. If you daven b'chidus, basically you're wasting your time. Right for Bein B'chai. Asa Asrenu, also an interesting gematria. We know the Gemara, famous Gemara. The Gemara says, "Kolam vazbez ali vazbez yosem mechoimish." This week's parsha is Asa Asrenu. You give meiser. A person who called Shitid, he said, Yaakov said to Rebbe, "Whatever you'll give me, I'll give you meiser." So the Gemara says that if a person, so a meiser usually is 10%. But I'm a vazbez. If you want to be large, as they say, not more than 20%. And thus the gematria Asa Asrenu is the gematria exactly. Kol vazbez ali vazbez yosem mechoimish.
Why do you use the illusion of vazbez? Vazbez illusion from illusion.
No, you're wasting. You want to be large. You want to waste more.
So it's wasting.
But
10 to 20 is wasting. It's not. I guess it's
nishmer.
For the regular person.
Yeah.
No, if someone is super wealthy, then they can even up to 50% or more, whatever. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, a trillionaire doesn't have to make this cheshbonis.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the more they have, make cheshbonis.
Let's have a conversation.
We'll worry about it then. This next piece of Bein B'chai, last week we also had a piece of Bein B'chai, was a Rishon. He was close to 900 years ago. Very famous Mefarash al Torah from the Rishonim. Very interesting shtickle. Yaakov Avinu said to the Eibishter, "V'nosani lechem lechoil." I want food to eat, the beged lilbosh, and clothing to wear. Zogt the Heilige Rabbeinu B'chai. Zois shalas hatzadikim me'es Hashem. This is what the tzadikim ask from the Eibishter. I want only, give me food to eat, give me clothing to wear. I don't need more than that. That's exactly what I need. Lo yishalu hamoisris. They're not asking for extras. Like adover hachreichi bilvad, only the essentials. She efshalei lo'odam shichi belodav. A person can't live without food. A person can walk around without clothing. So the basics. This is what Yaakov Avinu was asking for. Biyadua, kinetiyas odam acha bakoshas hamoisris. When a person asked for extra, for more. I have a friend who, when he started off in business, he didn't want to be a millionaire. He wanted to be a billionaire. He started off with a billionaire. I was once with him by my Rebbe in Shalim. He said, "I want to be a billionaire." He started laughing. He said, "The halch about the millions, the halch about the billions. What's up with you?" When a person goes for the extras, he wants more and more. It's machtatumul in his life. As the Mishnah says, therefore, be happy with what you have. He should be satisfied with the little bit that he has. You don't ask for extras. You should be happy with your Shemayim. It's better to have a little bit with your Shemayim rather than having great wealth, but it's gonna mess you up. And he brings the raya to the next pasuk, Shlomo Melech. Hush Omar, Toiv aruchas yerek v'havasham. It's better to eat a meal of vegetables, but with love, with compassion. Mishar evus v'sinaboy. Rather than having cowboy steaks, but you're eating with a bunch of friends who don't like you. Yoimar, ki yetiv l'mayodam hama'at b'chevre shetinam lehem. It's better to have a little bit, but you're sitting with amongst friends who like you. Rather than having a full plate, a full table with all the goodies, but the chevra around there, they don't really like you. And that's a mashal. Shlomo Melech brings as a mashal for a person to be happy with what he has. So the person should be satisfied with the little bit that he has and eat a shemayim. More rather than having a lot of money, but you didn't earn it legally. We see the Shlomo Melech also davened from the Eibishter that he should have his needs. Husha Omar, he said, Reish v'oisha al titanli. Reish is poorness. I don't want to be poor. I don't want to be rich. Hatrifeini lechem chuki. Give me my food, my needs, what I need. I don't need extra. Give me what I need. It's the biggest bracha in the world, by the way. A person who has what he needs and is happy with what he has is the happiest person in the world. Because a person is looking for more and more and more, so no matter how much he has, he wants more and more. Beer. To being poor, to be rich, very rich. When a person is too poor, it'll bring him to be over mitzvah Torah. When he's very rich, same thing. If a person is very poor, you'll have to cham for everybody. You have to suck onto people. A person who is poor is always begging. And that brings him to, and if a person is very rich, always want more. And what happens through that? The pasuk says that osher repnet chutzpah. We see it for a fact. Somebody who's rich, most of the people, there are very few cases, people who are not that way, but most of the people in the world, the more money they have, the more they, Hashem despises somebody who is a balgaiva. That's why Shlomo Melech said, I don't want to be poor, I don't want to be rich. Give me my needs, give me my food, whatever I need. Veda, you should know, Dr. Nebein B'chai, Ki lulei shayetza lev ha'odam ramin urav. If not for the fact that a person has the Yetzer Hara from the moment that he's born, when he's young, hoy ma'achatavas yisoy na'oyshe v'kovod b'olam hazeh, l'hoy aroi lo sheyidag v'mashe lo yikonim min ha'moisres. Akshevakesh davra muchras. If not for the fact that a person is born with the taiva, to have more and more and have what everybody else has, he wouldn't ask anything. He'd be happy with what he has. Because the essential needs that a person has in this world, food, clothing, the basics, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives every single human being in this world his daily needs. We see by Parshas Hamon, when the Yidden were in Midbar 40 years, every single day a person got what he could eat for that day. If he took more, he didn't have more. Everybody had what they needed for the day. If he took more, it got rotten. If he took less, he also had more. The whole Torah, the Bema Chaim has a whole shemus about that. We'll get some other time. We'll get to it, Parsh B'Shalach. You couldn't refrigerate it. You couldn't put it away for tomorrow. Even one day to the next didn't work. Why? Because Hashem wanted to teach them for 40 years in the Midbar, you should know that I take care of you every single day. Don't worry for tomorrow. And because they had betochen, Hashem gave them their food, their daily needs, whatever they needed. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives food, sustenance to each bria in the world, even the little ants and even the biggest dinosaurs. Hashem has achmanas on all his creatures. We see the way the world, where Hashem runs the world. She bechachma amuka v'neflo, some very deep and wonderful chachma. HaKadosh Baruch Hu mazmin l'briyosav umamtzi lehem hadovar hachreichi. Hashem gives every single human being his essential needs. V'mashu muchrach yoser humotzi yoser. A very interesting concept. He says you'll see that the things that people need most, you'll have most. People that need less, you don't have in the world. He explains. Precious stones, pearls. There aren't so many. You don't see them in the streets. You don't find it in the grocery because it's not essential. So diamonds and precious stones and stuff like that should do, but very little. That's why it's worth. That's why people pay so much money for it. That's nicht do. It's rare. It's not something that you must have. Yeah, you don't need for survival. You can live without it. But food, which a person needs more than precious stones, that's why you have food more than precious stones. You find food in every street, in every marketplace. You're not going to find, you walk into the marketplace, you want a grocery, even in pomegranate, you're not going to find diamonds. Water is more essential than food. When a person's hungry, you can go 2 or 3 days without food. They asked the guys who were captive in Gaza. They got kleine pitzel of food. But someone is thirsty. Thirst, you can't go without. That's why there's more water than food. You'll find it anywhere in the world.
70% of the world mass.
Huh?
70% of the world mass is water.
Right. 70 and 80% of the body is water.
Yeah.
Even when you travel, wherever you go, you find water. I think I once repeated the story. The Rebbe, Ribben's Rebbe Zechon Lebracha, was once Erev Rosh Hashanah. Someone told him that in Williamsburg, the Puppe Mikveh is a Mayan. It's a well. Well, it's a spring that comes up from the ground. At that point, the mikveh wasn't complete yet, but the bore was done. So the Rebbe wanted to go to the mikveh over there, because a Mayan is most choshev. Because a Zov and a Zov, only a Mayan, they can come towards. They go to mikveh and hand is more gunish, doesn't make a difference. So Mrs. Schwartz, Aleh HaSholem, Shai Schwartz's first wife, when the Rebbe stayed by their house, she used to prepare all kinds of health juices. Because the Rebbe fasted and took, so to give him a little energy. So as we got into the car, she sent along a thing of juice. I was sitting behind the Rebbe. The driver was driving. I think Uncle Klein, my friend, Uncle Klein. MJ was sitting next to me. He was the Hausbucher. And as we're driving, I told the Rebbe a few times, the Rebbe is in Schwarz, the Shikta juice. Pay attention. We're driving on the Bell Parkway, past the Verrazano Bridge, driving 60 miles an hour. And suddenly the Rebbe said, stop. Stops the car. The Rebbe opens the door. There's a hubcap full of water. He washes his hands, takes the drink to drink. He didn't want to drink without washing his hands first. But random, stam, middle of driving, 60 miles an hour. Stelt dich up. Right in front of us, obviously there was a hubcap and it rained. And the hubcap was full of water. As he opened the door. What? What?
You don't know what a hubcap is?
Oh, you know what a hubcap is?
It used to be a plastic
Oh.
outside the tire.
In the olden days, it was metal.
Still have now.
Yeah? So the tires used to have...
The center, the Chodesh is going to have center one. The big ones probably didn't hold water. There was one, a center one. It looked like a bowl. As a civil director, those kicked like the Assyrian bowl. Yes, yeah. The police cars have a center only.
We'll show you a picture.
Whatever.
Wash his hands.
So they washed his hands, they made a bracha. But imagine driving 60 miles an hour, says, no, pull over. Pulls over and opens the door right in front of the door. He didn't even get out of the car. Got out in front of it, washed his hands, and started shackling the door.
What does it do with Puppe Mikveh?
I was on the way to the Puppe Mikveh,
Oh,
on the way to Williamsburg.
so on the Verrazano?
Past the Verrazano, on the Bell Parkway,
Oh, okay.
past the Verrazano Bridge. So you see, water is nimtze b'chol mokim, even on the Bell Parkway. V'ha'avir, and air, sheyoyse mochich min hamayim, without air you can't live. Sha'achei shekatzah mayuchel adam lizbog mil echad, parasachas. If you're thirsty, you can wait a little bit. Mendel, good evening. You can give him pass over. Ava b'li ha'avir, but without air, lo yuchel adam lo yikol chaylis kaim filarega. Without air, well, it's going to last a minute, 2 minutes. Somebody puts a thing over your face, you're done. There isn't a single place in the world where there's no air. Even there's also avir. The essential needs of a human being, Hashem prepared for mankind the essential needs. That's why Yaakov HaTzadik asked from the Eibishter, I need the essentials. Lechem lechol, ubeged lil boish. Some people eat sourdough, but not everybody does. Some people live on regular challah. Some people live on regular rye bread. But lemaisa lechem, the beged, is the most important. Shadavar amuchrach. Oshalmi the saistapkus, and all the other things, all the other essentials. Shishalas asadikim b'lo shol ha-moises. So he asked from the Eibishter the basics, but didn't ask for Moisés for extras. We see that the Torah despises the extras, the luxuries that person doesn't really need. Even a king, the Torah says he shouldn't have luxuries. Who should kosuf? That's what the pasuk says. Legabe melech leyarbe lesusim, leyarbe lenoshim, v'kesef v'zov leyarbe lemoid. Take it easy. That's what Shlomo Melech said. Resh v'oish al titan lead. I don't want to be poor. I don't want to be rich. Hatifein alechem chuki. Give me my essential needs. So very side is dikke stik Torah. Svasemes tafresh lamadalad. Vayikas Yaakov vayomer manoira mokam ze enze kibes lekim ze shashamayim vayir vayomer manoira mokam ze. Nichtav l'shevach Yaakov Avinu l'vasholem. So imagine he had a dream. He sees Malachim. He sees the Sulam Mutzavaz V'lesh Megillah Shemaima, and he gets up and he chapt tziter. Imagine if we had such a dream. Wow, I wake up in the morning. You know what I dreamt last night? Wow, I saw Malachim. And Yaakov Avinu ping verkeerd. And he chapt tziter.
Yeah, but he saw Hashem. Hashem is standing up. Wherever that means.
Still copy ticket.
Can you imagine if you woke up tomorrow morning and say, you know, yeah, and you would come to shul the next day with such a big smile on your face. You know what I saw last night? But Yaakov Avinu nein, Yaakov Avinu gehabt hat zitten. Na manoira mokam hazeh. Kish acher mo yelo cholam kazeh. A person would have, a human being would have such a cholam, or the mizgeah. Hat schalten groß, you know, ich gehabt das cholam, da ich das wissen sie mir. Wir alle haben noch viel pachet wieder. Wir sagen simen shoy ish emes. By the year zu, because of this year that he had, zochel lebonav liyazem mokam beis hamikdash. Because he realized that this is the Mokem Kodesh, and he chapt that sitter, so that sitter created Mokem Mikdash. Ich say Beis Elokim. V'yise, Chazal tell us, Sheireu Bonui V'chorev. Hashem showed him at that point the Beis Hamikdash built and destroyed. V'yishikik here Beis Hamikdash Hayad Yerezu. Through this year that he had, that created the Beis Hamikdash. V'oma Einzek in Beis Elokim. Elokim, we know, is Midas Adin. Tzimtzum, pachad. The only way Beis Hamikdash will exist is through Yiras Shamayim, through Elokim. L'chein, לפי מה שיש Yiras Shamayim b'bnei Yisrael, the more Yiras Shamayim Klal Yisrael has, miskayim Beis Hamikdash. And when it got to the point where we lost the Yiras Shamayim, we lost the Beis Hamikdash. Ki ikar kiyim hakoil Yiras Hashem, Yiras Hashem tohoiro, imedes la'ad. So the Yiras Hashem is Tahoira and it's a Medes La'ad. It lasts forever. By the Yira Niftach Pesach B'chol Mokoim, if a person has Yiras Shamayim, so no matter where he is, it opens up the Shara Shamayim for him. Shara Shamayim. What time is it? Oh, Hashem, we can go. But Rashi steht das so, Avremi, Erev Tov. Pass over, pass him זה לא מזיק. Huh? We have plenty. Rashi says, Vayivga, Tikkun Tfilas Arvis, says, Vayivga b'mokon. So Rashi, Chazal, Tikkun Tfilas Arvis. V'lo yksiv vayispalel. Normally would say vayispalel, but it says vayivga. La'amedcha shekofetz lo yoretz. From this we learn that he had kvitzas derech. Kofetz lo yoretz. Ve'ene moving. Ki la'pirish hazeh shetikkun Tfilas Arvis, ma'in kvitzas oretz lekam. What does Tfilas Arvis have to do with kvitzas oretz? What's the connection? According to a person's real willpower, even here in Seagate, even here right now, if a person has an emissary rotzen to connect to the Eibishter, this is Yerushalayim, this is Beis Hamikdash. So someone brings in many places that every Beis Hamikdash, every Beis Knesses, we eat and daven and learn Torah, as Kedusha says Yerushalayim. Kedusha says Yisrael. Versteht sich a place where you don't talk by davening, because then you challah the whole place. V'zeh shomar Rashi, neka hara Maria v'bolakan, perish. Kivin shoy liyakov avinu v'sholem rotzim godel love hara Maria. He wanted to get to Hara Maria, the Mokoim Hamikdash, where his grandfather brought Yitzchak Avinu, his father, for Akedah. Although Hara Maria was very far from where he landed, Kofatz Hara Maria Lakan. Hara Maria came towards him. When a person is in darkness, in Mokam is Galas Or. So when the person is in darkness, he doesn't have a drop of light coming towards him. Like if a person has gewaltige rotzen to get to the light, it all depends in our rotzen, our willpower. So even if a person is rochoik, he can become korev in a second. Sometimes a person, Hashem will put a person in a matzav of choshech, matzav of darkness, night. He doesn't see, he doesn't feel the Eibishter. But the tachlis of that is to bring him closer to the Eibishter. Sometimes our mensch chapt a flick. Chap a flick and it wakes you up. So that flick that wakes you up, the purpose of the flick was to get you closer. When a person has a problem, a person has a tzorah in his life, no matter what it is, every tzorah, it's not something bad that's happening to you, it's something good. The purpose is, Hashem is calling you. Hashem wants us closer. Because through the richuk that a person has at the moment, he wants to aspire to something better, to something greater. What? Yeah. He doesn't do it stamazai. He chabs a flick for no reason. He chabs a flick for a reason. But the flick is to bring you closer. It's not to push you away. Hashem is kulei toiv. Even in the distant place, even in the darkness, the person has the ability to bring the light in. Rashi says to teach you. That's to teach us. Every Yid should learn from this. I should know. If you really want, so even if you're in the darkest place in your life, things are mamish choshech, dort liegt the or. Have the visible that a spark of light can. Yeah. You bring a match into the darkest room, huh?
Have her free.
Have her free?
No,
don't say that name.
Why chas v'sholem? My good friend.
a little bit of light.
Take away, chase away heap of darkness.
Something like that.
So it's a vista word when it says,
Vilna says on
And the darker it is, the more of a small amount of light.
huh?
Say about the darker it is, the more of the tiny light.
Yeah, you go into a pitch black room, you light a tiny match. You know, the ones that used to, the books, the little booklets. Suddenly, you wait a couple of seconds and you'll see what would you do. It's unbelievable. A little tiny light. Chulim, ja.
Ja, selbe Platz.
Sie sind hingekommen. Sie sind Kopf zu Leoretz.
When?
wanted so much.
Nog nem is het overstaan?
Nein,
Maar het is gelijk.
wenn es geliked hat, gewollt, ist haben wir hingespringen.
It became movement.
Right, but it is the same. It is
So do a famous kasha. A famous kasha. She steht as gegangen koidem, and then he came back. How could it be that I passed by the place where my forefathers, my tata, my zaytim gedaven, and I'm not going to daven there? So he went back. Why did he go back? Why did he not stop there? So first of all, he had a tzivu of kibbud av. His father told him, go to Lavan for a shidduch. So he went there, tata geisen guy, Geitman. And as he got there, he said, hello, I passed by. Now we can go back. So he went back to Mokum Shishpal.
You arrived to Chura and then you turned back.
Chayr, yeah. Huh?
It's all the way up in Turkey.
That was his kids.
Huh?
That's how we had kids.
Of course, they fit there. So imagine if Eliezer ever the Roman had Kvitza der Yaakov Avinu, and said that the sun went under before its time, and that space was saved for later on when Yeshua needed extra time by the Muhammad. Noch ein Stück ist Versemmes. Tofish Nun Gimel. By the way, this Versemmes lost his father when he was 9 years old, and his grandfather was Chadishirim. Chadishirim lost 13 children in his lifetime. The last one that passed away was the father of the Versemmes, the Bevru Mordche.
What was his cipher?
Huh?
What was his cipher's name?
I was for him from his children. But when the Versemmes father passed away, he started crying. Came up from the wife, was crying. So the Rebbe said to him, "Hello, good morning. What happened until now?" He said, "You don't understand why I'm crying. I'm crying because until now I had the mitzvah of Limadat HaMoizvah B'neichem. Ich habe nicht die Mitzvah mehr." Dem hat geweint. So his father passed away when he was 9 years old, and he grew up by his grandfather, Chadishirim. When Chadishirim passed away, he got married when he was 15, like some of us. I was 18.
Still 25.
You're getting married this year. Gisteren Basian, Tuesday. I'll make you a deal, but we'll talk about it later. It's nicht für jetzt. Cash gave Mazel Tov. If he'll accept the deal, he got it. How did you know what the deal was? Anyway, so the Versemmes got married when he was 15. His grandfather passed away when he was 17. And the Hasidim wanted him to become Rebbe. He said, "No way, 17 years old, he can't be Rebbe." Yeah, big Chasidus. So he traveled with his grandfather's Hasidim, Reb Heinig from Alexander, the Alte Alexander, Udum Gudel Moed. When he passed away, I think he was 25 at the time already. At that point, he had no choice, and took him to the Rebbe. He was Rebbe for many years. And at one point, they were chopping the Bukhrim into the Russian army, Polish army. There was war then. And Mamish broke him to pieces. He got sick from it and he passed away young. In his 50s. He was in his, from the age of 25 till 50, I think 57 maybe, something like that. But he said every year there was the Torah that he said Bashal Shidus. And it's interesting that he used to write it for himself, Zichron Dvurim, to remember. And many times you see in Versemmes, he says, Vayeser Shachachti. I don't remember, because he did given a goy soilem, gesegnet. Sometimes it slept till Monday, Tuesday, and then he wanted to write. So Yeser Shachachti. And some places it says Irbuv Dvorim. I don't remember exactly, but be'erech. They weren't prepared Torahs like we're preparing here. Was the Daibisch geschickt hat. A ganze Woche sitzen gelernt, and then Bashal Shidus, whatever came down. That's what he said. So afterwards he wanted to write down so he remember what he said. The Gemara says in Shabbos, Amanik is a Shabbos. A person who is Ma'anik is a Shabbos. And many Mefarshim say that nicht Ma'anik is Atzmoi b'Shabbos. Nicht der Fall daran in the Schulend. But Ma'anik is a Shabbos. Neusten loy nachle b'li Mesorim. He gets an inheritance, no boundaries, infinite. So steht in Buzik, v'chatich nachles Yaakov Avinu. I will feed you the inheritance of Yaakov Avinu, which was what? Uforatz da yom v'keit b'tzvayin v'negba. Uforatz da yom v'keit mo Mendel. Uforatz da zoyin v'negba. Yeah? Ha'ininu ma'adachsiv ha'oretz ha'shat ha'shoiche v'leo perish Rashi kipla kodesh bochu kol ha'etz Yisrael. Hashem folded the entire Eretz Yisrael under his head. V'ushoyish ha'nukud even ha'shesiyo shu shoyish kol oilam. We spoke about it before, at the beginning of the Shiur, before we started the Shiur. ויעקב אבינו עליו השלום שהוא אדם השולם, שהכל נברא בשבילוי, זוכה למקום היסוד שהכל תלוי בו. He was זוכה to fall asleep in that place, שקיבל לקדוש ברוך הוא כל ישראל תחתיו, וכסיב לך תננו לזרעך. Hashem said to him, I'll give you this land to you and your children forever. נמצא שיש גם לכל איש ישראל חלק בזו המתנה. Hashem said to him, I'll give it to you and to your children. So every single yid, every single one of us has a chelik of that matana. What's that matana? V'achtichan lachas Yaakov v'ichan nach lelui mitzorim. It's in the sky b'Shabbos Kodesh. The cause for Chazal, the Eibusha said to Moshe Rabbeinu, matana toy v'yesh li beis genozai. I have a beautiful gift in my treasures. It's hidden in my treasures. The Shabbos Shmo. It's called Shabbos. Leich voidiyam. Tell my Yiddish kinderlach that I have this beautiful gift for them. That no one should go out of his boundaries. Shabbos, every Yid gets his mokim. When a person goes into shul, Shabbos, he doesn't come in the middle of the Ma'ariv. He comes in the beginning of davening. Some people don't chap that this is so precious. So by Kabbalah Shabbos, a person gets his matana. That's what we say by Beraz the Shabbos. And everyone gets an extra neshama Yisrael. That happens over them by Baruch Hu. That's why there's alocha in Shulchan Aruch. Wherever you are on Shabbos, you're kind of shvisa, and you have alpaim amma from all sides around the town where you are. Yeah? What if a person has a situation, his Rebbe is coming to Iba Drosha beyond the 2,000 amas, so he has to be kind of shvisa at the end of the Tchum Shabbos, kind of shvisa there, and then he can go from there another 2,000 amas, but he can't go the other ways. That's the halacha, yeah? So we see that a person has a ability to kind of shvisa on Erev Shabbos, wherever you are. V'kach nisha lo kol ha-Shabbos. The kein halacha, the kini shvisa ben hashmoshes, at kan dvor of Zal. That's what his grandfather said. K'may disa b'Yaakov, kofas har Maria, the half of Maria sprung towards him. K'may kein mamish, u'b'chinas neshama yiseda, and ha'netenis l'neis lo b'Shabbos. So a person also gets this gift of his neshama yiseda, which is in Shemayim, and it comes and connects with him. As eksiv, poides sukkah shalom aleinu, v'kol am yisov ad Yerushalayim. Poides sukkah shalom.
That's when you get the Shema said, not that it was the Shabbos.
By Baruch Hu.
Sure?
Yeah. Then we get another chelik of the neshama.
Oh, yeah?
The neshama, nefesh of neshama, yeah. So by the way, it says from the Kisvei Ari. I don't know Kisvei Ari, but I'm just telling you. It says in my siddur. That's right. By Apoyesik Shalom Aleinu, by that bracha, you should be standing, because that's when you get another chelik.
What's another?
Another chelik of neshama yisrael.
Different kind of commander.
Nefesh, ruach, neshama, cha yechida. Cha yechida is
I think it starts by Balchi.
yeah. We'll get into it.
You know.
But by Keser, as you notice, and then Keser Yedishayt Keser v'Shayster, because that's the yichud, Shemayim, the biggest yichud of Chachma and Bina, Abba v'Ima Ilo. That's the yichud, and that's the highest.
That's the fifth.
That's the highest time. Vazeksi poyde sukkah shomalenu v'kol ha'misel. The Rabbin is the next level. That's the yichud mamish, but also the Eibishter. Every Suda Shabbos, people don't chap. Then there's media, so we say, Skidus Doso, Minister Shleim Oso, Chadlosa Mal Kadisho, Skidus Doso Mal Gloi Sudoso, this is the Suda of the three different chalokim, yeah? But every Suda that a Yid sits Shabbos by his tish, the Eibishter comes to be with him. Unfortunately, some people, they don't chap. That this is, we have the opportunity to sit with the Eibishter Shabbos and Fabreng. That the Zmiris, the Torah. Huh?
See the top of the Zmiris.
And not to play Monopoly.
The bank called Luna. This is the bank called Luna at the Shomalaikum. That was heavy. It's oil, but you get Zmiris in English and Yiddish.
Everything is gewaldig.
Go through the words.
And some people don't understand. They don't das an der Schuss. Sie verstehen nicht. Man erst mal Pittes.
I saw Kids Shabbos.
Disgusting.
I was by.
Please.
I just want to say too much Shabbos.
So what's making my next?
Look over Shabbos. Erst look over Shabbos.
Noch
Just look over the Bauch. Was?
Noch ein Bench Baby Nassen Papetes?
Don't ask me. I'm not going to answer you the truth. I think it's disgusting. Machel Beheime. You ever see the Israelis sit until the pile is this big? That's when they stop. Huh?
We have to go to Israel. We had so many to see it. Just to see where he walked. There was a trail of.
Mishmakabel.
Ishmakabel. Thank God we don't know who it is. The more we long and we desire to connect to this kedusha, that's how we get to connect. What's food? What is food? Food is sustenance. When we eat food, it turns into blood, and that's what we live. We live on the blood, yeah? I will feed you, Nachlas Yaakov, into the Yerusha that we got from Yaakov Vinu. It becomes part of us, becomes part of our blood. This is the inheritance. That we should have, we should want to connect to the Shabbos Kodesh. This Mayan should become a flowing well. And then it has an extension to the entire week. And then the next Shabbos is noch größer. 25?
24.
We have time.
Okay, noch ein kleines Stückchen. Degel Machn Ephraim, who was the Einikl of the Baal Shem Tov HaKudosh. He was the son of Udal. V'hinei sulam mutzav ha'aretz av rosh megiach shamaymo. In the Malach Elikim oilim v'yoidim boi. Zog the Heilige Degel, v'yashloima b'derech remez. The Hine Yedua, it's known, the Kavonas and Sinas Tzedakah, to give Tzedakah, V'las is Yichud, Havaya v'Adnoi. There's the Yichud of Yud Kei Vav Kei and all of Ladun Yud. Yud Kei Vav is the Eibishter, and Klal Yisrael. Adnoi is the Malchus. So I once saw, many years ago, that the Zohar HaKodesh says that giving a pruta to Tzedakah is Yud Kei Vav Kei. How? The pruta is a Yud, your hand is a Hey, this is a Vav, putting it into the hand of the Oni is another Hey. So you bring Mechaber, Yud Kei Vav Kei to the Achrona. Huh?
How does that work with the credit card?
I work with a credit card. It's the point. Yesh leima b'derech remez, din yadu the commandments of Tzedakah and last is yichud havai v'adnoi. There, hay yichud. Through this yichud, so what do we do? What's the yichud? We're connecting Kavyochel Deibishter to Klal Yisrael. Yeah. So how do you connect? When a person does a mitzvah down here, it's called a serusa de l'sata. It's an arousal from down here to Shemayim. And what happens in that case? So Hashem is Baruch mashpia to us. Not only for this person personally, but for the ganze Welt, for all the worlds. The Abalatur in Perish Sulam, like we learned at the beginning of the Shiur, Sulam Gematria Momon. Momon is something that is earthly. It seems like Geld in Kotzkap and Gesucht. Geld is blotte. Was hat nicht Geld, der liegt in der blotte. So money betzim is like money. Fair. My Rebbe is kind of when he touched money by Yorach David. So he didn't have his own money, but he always asked somebody. Then he put it into the pishke. And he washed his hands. He touched money. But the kvittel geld also. Mensen haben gelost Geld auf the Tisch, but the kvittel, Pidjonis. So as came over a man, he used to take it. And then he went to wash his hands. So money betzim seems to be earthly. Nidal Aishim Adreket Chatoyne Moed. Dein Beshum Toelis. Every tzaddik has his derech. How do you know he didn't wash his hands afterwards?
Eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah, he didn't. I'm sure the Rebbe didn't have money he put away in the bank. But the emes is that tzedakah has such a koyach that through the Serusa de L'Sata, it's poil and shamayim. And sheyesh bo te'elis godel and negel shamayim. V'hine malach elikim perish maloch chumis betzadik aleph. That's the yichud of Yud Kei Vav Kei and Aleph Dal Dun Yud. Yichud avay v'adnoi. And it's in this moment tzedakah and it's have a yichud avay v'adam mis betzadik aleph. Poil bezeh oilim and she betchil oilim aydei Serusa de L'Sata. So the mitzvah that we did here, it creates a Serusa de L'Sata. Achach yodim boy heine she'od shefa v'brocha al yodoi. Akol oilim is v'hoven alle broches zayin alechtige Shabbos. Maybe we have to talk.
We hear the deal? Is it public deal or it's private deal?
Private.